Thanks a lot.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Dimkovsky, for these very insightful remarks. And we'll come back to that probably later, and there might be some questions also in the audience. Thank you so much. I'm going now to pass to the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture of Uzbekistan. Deputy Minister, I would like to ask you a question. And so my question is the following. Uzbekistan has a rich heritage in agriculture, while at the same time is embracing innovation. How does the ministry plan to blend, to put together both these age-old expertise and modern insights like digitalization to foster innovation? And specifically, how is this approach tailored considering the prevalence of smallholder farmers within the country?
Assalomu alaykum avvalambor, hurmatli mehmonlar, hurmatli speaker. Avvalambor ushbu tadbirni tashkil etishda davlatimiz rahbari, hukumatimiz rahbari tashabbus bilan tashkil qilinmoqda va Qishloq xo'jaligi vazirligining vakili sifatida barchalarga xush kelibsizlar deyman. Shu tadbirni mazmunli qolaversa Azmi Samarqand shahrida sizlarni bo'lib o'tish bilan bog'liq bo'lgan masalalarda biz har tomonlama sizlarga bir yaxshi bu yerdan foydali ma'lumotlar va yaxshi hissiyotlar bilan qaytishinglarga biz har tomonlama sa'y-harakat qilamiz. Rahmat. Savolingizga keladigan bo'lsak, savol juda ham o'rinli. Bilasizlar, hozirgi kunda iqtisodiyotni hech qaysi sektorini raqamli transformatsiyasiz tasavvur qilib bo'lmaydi, shu jumladan agrar sektorda ham. O'zbekistonda mana Qishloq xo'jaligi vazirligini juda katta tarixiy tajribaga ega bo'lgan davlat organi bo'lsa, 21-yil hurmatli prezidentimizning qarori bilan Qishloq xo'jaligi vazirligida aynan shu agrar sektor raqamlashtirish bo'yicha alohida kompleks ochildi va alohida vazir o'rinbosari yo'nalishi tashkil qilindi. Soha juda keng va serqirrali bo'lgani uchun vazirlikning tizimida agrosanoatni raqamlashtirish markazi alohida markaz ochildi. Hozirgi kunda markazimiz qariyb 100 dan ortiq yaxshi mutaxassislar bilan shakllangan. Va birinchi navbatda agrar sohani raqamlashtirishda demak biz nimaga duch keldik yoki nimaga biz ahamiyat berishga majbur bo'lyapmiz? Mana bundan oldin hamkasblarimiz so'zga chiqishganda aytishdi. Birinchi navbatda qishloq xo'jaligi mahsulotini yetishtiruvchini hozirgi kundagi fikrlashini biz tubdan o'zgartirishimizga e'tibor qaratyapmiz. Chunki hozirgi kunda rivojlanayotgan sohada juda ko'p yaxshi ishlanmalar, instrumentariyalar yaratilmoqda. Mana hozir hurmatli hamkasblarimiz ham oddiy bir eng osoni bu biror bir qurilmani yoki bir telefon apparatini misolida aytishdi. Lekin biror bir mahsulotni sotib olgandan keyin uni bor yo'g'i eng minimal funksiyadan foydalangan bu hech qanaqa bir ijobiy natijaga erishmaydi. Demak, birinchi navbatda biz dehqonlarimizni bilim nuqtai nazaridan ularni tushunchasini oshirish. Ikkinchi navbatda mahsulotni ishlab chiqarish jarayonida demak yaxshi raqamli instrumentlardan foydalanganda qay darajada uni samaradorligini erishishga biz e'tibor qaratdik. Mana yaqin 2 yil ichida Qishloq xo'jaligi vazirligi tomonidan 10 dan ortiq har xil yo'nalishdagi axborot tizimlarini yaratdik. Birgina misol, demak, bilasizlar, hamma davlatlarda ham, shu jumladan O'zbekistonda ham agrar sektordagi subyektlarni qo'llab-quvvatlash nuqtai nazaridan davlatimiz tomonidan har xil yo'nalishlarda subsidiya ajratiladi. Demak, fermer xo'jalik ma'lum bir mahsulot ishlab chiqarayotganda aytarlik hozirgi kunda o'sha yildan yilga suv resurslarining tanqisligi davrida demak suv tejov texnologiyalari joriy qilinsa, demak davlat tomonidan subsidiya beriladi. Oddiygina shu subsidiyani berish jarayonida ham biz arizani berishdan tortib uni ko'rib chiqish jarayoni va moliyaviy manbalarni egasiga yetgangacha bo'lgan jarayonlarni ham biz o'sha bitta axborot tizimi orqali raqamlashtirishga biz erishdik. Demak, bu yerda o'sha ishlab chiqaruvchi tomonidan ham motivatsiya nuqtai nazaridan yengillikka intilish hissiyotlari bo'ladi. Yoki vazirlik tomonidan hozirgi kunda respublikadagi o'sha barcha yer maydonlarini biz raqamli formatga o'tkazib, demak yer egalariga biz to'g'ridan to'g'ri o'ziga biriktirilgan yer maydonlarini ekinlarni monitoring qilish yoki o'ziga biriktirilgan yer maydonidagi tuproqni tarkibidagi har xil mineral moddalarni bilish yoki ekin maydonidagi sug'orish davrida berilayotgan suvni kam yoki ko'pligini monitoring qilish kabi imkoniyatlarni yaratuvchi biz geoaxborot tizimini yaratganmiz va respublika bo'yicha biz hozir mana shu geoaxborot portalidan oddiygina foydalanish bo'yicha o'sha viloyatlar, tumanlar kesimida fermerlarimizga o'sha to'g'ri tushunchalarni yetkazyapmiz. Albatta bularni to'g'ridan to'g'ri foydalanuvchiga yetkazishda ma'lum bir darajada qiyinchiliklar ham bor. Chunki o'sha birinchi navbatda fermerlarimizning shu bilim darajasini oshirish. Bu yerda endi o'sha boshqa instrumentlarni yo'lga qo'yilyapti. Ya'ni bu yerda misol uchun Agrobank bilan birgalikda yosh fermerlar maktabi loyihasi tashkil qilingan. Respublikamizning bir qancha viloyatlarida shu fermerlar maktabining filiallari ochilgan. Yoki vazirlik tomonidan 2 yil bo'ldi respublika bo'yicha birinchi etapda har bir viloyat markazida, ikkinchi etapda tuman markazlarida fermerlarga agrar xizmatlarni ko'rsatish nuqtai nazaridan markazlarni biz ochyapmiz. Mana bu yil o'zida 33 ta markazni biz respublika bo'yicha ochyapmiz. Ya'ni bularning ham maqsadi shu fermerlarimizga biror bir
objective here is to help farmers to provide service on the protocols, on the vegetation, and to promote experts. And to increase the expertise and knowledge of farmers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister, for also bringing your insight, everything you've been doing on digitalization, on capacity building, on how to orient the subsidies using digital tools. It was extremely interesting. Now I'm going to turn to Mrs. Iroda Rustamova, professor at the Tashkent University. And I would like to ask you a question, as I did for the other panelists, and wanted to know, at your university, you've examined the degree to which innovation are adopted and utilized in Uzbekistan's agricultural sector. In light of your findings, how can the extension and advisory services in Uzbekistan be optimized to be more responsive to the needs, foster innovation, embrace digital solutions, and align more closely with the demand? You have the floor.
Participants of the conference, And I'd like to share my opinion on this direction. And of course, our university focuses on education, and also we are making research and we focused on science, on fundamental innovation projects. And the staff of this project, not only professors, also students are involved here. We use our university the following technologies on innovative. We are using a platform HEMIS. This innovative tool is simplifies not only the work of students but also professors getting knowledge, new information, and it's also a useful program on examination period. And we have at university extend service, and here we're also making research works. Also, professors, staff also give. Provide consultative services to farmers and etc.
Большое спасибо.
Very important comments. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to the audience. You need to participate as well to this discussion. And I would like to know if somebody here in the audience would like to share its experience on digitalization. That would be one thing. If you want to say something on what is your experience of using these technologies in your specific context, or if you have a question to ask to the panel, that would be also appreciated. So, whoa, so many questions here. So I will start with the gentleman here. You need a microphone, maybe. Yeah. You can introduce yourself.
I'm Dr. Sid.
Я доктор Сигюндаса. Я из центра Кембридж в Бостоне. Мы также создали свое приложение для сельского хозяйства. Оно живое. Сейчас мы проделываем пилотный проект в Индии, и мы запустим в Кении также и Чили. И о чем мы здесь говорим в разных конференциях. И я нашел, что мы фокусируемся только на одном аспекте инновации. Но у нас есть 4 фундаментальных момента: финансы, второе – это инновации, третье – это также здравоохранение фермера и также образование фермеров, и также его членов семьи. Все эти 4 аспекта должны быть объединены. Это сельского хозяйства. Тогда мы можем получить устойчивое сельское хозяйство, также смарт сельское хозяйство. И что мы создали? Мы создали 3 сегмента в нашем приложении для сельского хозяйства. Сначала фермер как производитель урожая. Конечно, последние технологии, которые используются, и мы предоставляем всю поддержку. Они берут все эти инновационные характеристики и применяют их. Второе, фермеры теперь продают свои урожаи. И здесь у нас есть также система, когда мы хотим соединить как и транспортную логистику, и создаем сейчас, где у нас будет связь также покупателей, связка покупателей и продавцов даже за рубежом, где они могут в реальности видеть сам процесс выращивания само поля и потом уже покупать данный урожай. И следующий аспект, как фермеры могут стать инструментов для изменения и модификации также экономики как инструмент. И здесь мы создали это обмен, где все средства, которые будут созданы данным фермером, будут также иметь накопительный момент, и мы будем создавать такую циркулярную экономику, где данные, опять же, эти средства будут снова вводиться как инвестиции, и таким образом им не нужно будет искать средства где-либо еще. Финансирование определенных займов. Мы не говорим об одногодичном, о 5-годичном займе, где мы можем также смотреть также и шок, и также падение данного урожая. И у них есть такого рода преимущество долгосрочной выплаты. И данные займы мы также внедряем и также продаем их разным инвесторам. И что происходит? Что деньги будут возвращаться в банк, и им не нужно также просить рекапитализировать свой, например, займ, если вдруг они остались в оплате. Это мы таким образом должны мешать наши знания, технологию и также экономические условия наших фермеров, потому что голодные также фермеры не могут создать умное сельское хозяйство, инновационное. И поэтому для нашего устойчивого развития мы должны иметь не очень большие, ну, достаточные состоятельные фермеры, чтобы они пользовались этими принципами. Большое спасибо, очень интересно было и очень относящееся к нашей теме. Так, пожалуйста, вы здесь, сначала вы. Микрофон, пожалуйста. Добрый день всем, большое спасибо за такое мероприятие. У меня есть вопрос. Меня зовут Хамид Урхип, я из Кувейта, я здесь представляю Институт энергии. И у меня очень простой вопрос. Доктор Сиди, здесь все знают, что, конечно, весь цикл начинается с фермером, но мой вопрос. У тебя есть какие-то инкубаторы, сельскохозяйственные инкубаторы с высокой технологией, которые были также цифровыми или, наоборот, которые были. Я видел инкубаторы во многих странах, также в США, которые создавали экосистему, где фермеры и студенты работают вместе. То есть вопрос, есть ли такого рода сельскохозяйственные бизнес-инкубаторы в Узбекистане? Это все. Это для Узбекистана. В Узбекистане есть такие панели? Прежде чем вы ответите на этот вопрос, я также еще один вопрос тоже здесь возьму. У вас, пожалуйста. Спасибо. Меня зовут Зафар Гафуров. Я также с Института международного управления водными ресурсами Центрального офиса. Я хотела бы задать вопрос нашим мадам Сангере и Македонии. Когда мы говорим о цифровании, инновации, технологии, и все это есть. Есть телефоны уже есть, но как вы сделали определенные изучения касательно цифрового сельского хозяйства, как это может быть управляться в инфраструктуре. Есть разные проекты, были сделаны разные модели в разных регионах, основываясь на технологии, тоже на разных программах обучения. Но как вы непосредственно можете сохранять все эти данные и также скорость, то есть сама инфраструктура. Эта инфраструктура отсутствует, иногда эти вопросы возникают. Является ли инфраструктура для вас проблемой? И второй вопрос, вы также говорили, метеостанции, которые измеряют температуру, также влажность почвы и так далее. Вы знаете, что у нас регион, который является ограниченной касательно даты, и мы всегда должны обращаться к этому центру. У нас нет определенных сообществ, которые могут иметь такие инструменты или станции и получать эти данные. Мой вопрос. У вас есть эти метеостанции, маленькие метеостанции. Кто является владельцем данных станций? Как обмен данными работает между фермерами? Это вопрос. Потому что когда у нас есть метеорологические станции, мы всегда все равно имеем проблему с точностью данных. У нас есть гидромет, это коммерческая организация, от них очень трудно получить определенные данные. Кто является владельцем и кто двигает среди сообщества вот этих станций и также обмен данными? И, значит, первое, это, как я сказала, инфраструктура и обмен данными. Спасибо большое. У нас два вопроса. Первый для министра Газгери и также для Узбекистана. И еще один вопрос, прежде чем мы вернемся к нашим паналистам. Еще есть вопрос, который вы хотели или что чем-то еще поделиться? Да, пожалуйста. Нам не слышно. Меня зовут Раслези, я являюсь представителем страны вот здесь, в Узбекистане, и работаю также в Каракалпакистане над проектом, где мы развиваем бизнес-платформу для того, чтобы улучшить доступ информации и также ресурсы для фермеров. И платформа, которую вы сказали уже, и то, что было сделано, я хотела бы сказать вопрос, что мы должны считать, что схема нашего мероприятия, это, конечно, не экспортирование нашего продовольствия, а именно продовольственная безопасность, насколько наши инвестиции в основном настроены на больших фермеров, где у фермеров есть определенный доступ к использованию консультантов. И мы видим, что большинство наших фермеров это в основном маленькие фермы, и у них нет никаких займов у банков, они не используют цифровые услуги, и они не используют никаких услуг консультантов. И мы стараемся в этом их поддерживать. Но хотел бы, чтобы вы сказали, как мы можем вот эти уроки применить для маленьких фермеров и для того, чтобы вопрос безопасности был решен. Да, мы, конечно, говорим, чтобы не оставить никого позади, и поэтому любая инновация, которая представлена, должна быть только преимущественно для всех фермеров. Хорошо, большое спасибо. Давайте теперь мы обратимся к вам, и я надеюсь, что вы сможете ответить на вопрос. Большое спасибо за вопрос. Были замечательные вопросы. Я очень рада присутствовать на такой конференции с такими вопросами. Что касательно инкубаторов. У нас есть очень много программ инкубаторов. Мой любимый это Innovative Club. Это между палатой сельского хозяйства и также других больших компаний и университетов. У них есть полгода программа для того, чтобы внедряли инновации. Некоторые из них потом получают займ для стартапа. Эта программа очень хорошая, и я всегда присутствую в аудитории, и очень можно многому научиться от этих инкубаторов. Поэтому можно начинать не только с университетов, но также с некоторыми фермерами. И как мы обмениваемся данными, это очень трудно. Конечно, некоторые компании, они не имеют этой возможности обмена данными. Я, конечно, не буду говорить, но некоторые из них зелеными и желтыми очень трудно поднять или получить эти данные. Но как в любом случае государство, вы можете предоставить разные ссылки к сайтам, и где в контракте нам нужно обязательно разработать определенное приложение, где фермеры и также другие компании автоматически могут предоставлять эти данные. И как мы можем непосредственно включить очень много маленьких фермеров? У нас также такая же проблема. У нас 106 разных тысяч фермеров, и 20% из них производят продовольствие. И, соответственно, мы должны связываться с каждым. Мы ходим обычно к одному. Если это банк, то это... Если это страховая компания, то это страховая. Да. Поэтому мы стараемся финансировать саму сеть. Это сеть сервисов для консультации, это в основном для администрации. И почему это полезно для наших фермеров? Потому что они могут делать определенную бумажную документацию и получать свои средства через эти консульства. Но есть определенная точка захода. Если у вас есть такая сеть, если данная сеть имеет всю информацию, тогда вы можете достичь и маленьких фермеров. Спасибо большое. Спасибо. Теперь я хотел бы перейти к замминистру сельского хозяйства Узбекистана касательно стартапов.
So, speaking in general, in the agro sector and digitalization in the agro sector, from the point of view of the state perspective, if we talk about implementation of the ICT and also new startup, supporting new startup, then we should say we need comprehensive approach. In general, the policy of the ministry is to support new ideas, and here my colleague from University of Agriculture can support my idea. We need to support education and manufacturing production, and if the state authority responsible for this is Minister of Agriculture, and this should be main objective of our ministry, because of course the students will grow as a specialist when they study, but they need some support for implement the ideas, and of course there might be needed some investment into this, and ministry is ready to support new startup projects, and we support our students within our system, and not only ministry actually, but also big companies or clusters. They have some component in the activity to support through maybe internships, and they also try to support and also maybe attract the human resources. And we have some investment programs by some big farming companies, and in the agro field we have one commercial bank, we have one state bank, Agrobank, that supports also all the agro sector, and they have also education component. They support young entrepreneurs in the agro field, and they have financing mechanisms. Thank you.
Deputy Minister. I would like to turn now to Mr. Dimkovsky regarding the question about inclusivity, about the uptake of science and technology by smallholder farmers, to make sure that we bring them into the equation and we don't increase the digital divide. Would you have any suggestions on this specific question?
Yeah. Thanks first for the question, but you see how we think on this, we go on the same side, but just to make these cubes in the right place, so to speak. We know, all of us, that this is expensive tool. Any farmers cannot buy, but any farmers can use the service of that. We're talking about the poor farmers, small farmers. I mentioned small farmers. You are saying who manage and how the maintenance of this product, who it's pay. When I mention Bureau, that's Bureau for Meteorological, is under the Ministry of Agriculture. That means that owner is the government of North Macedonia, Republic of North Macedonia. The staff who is working, who maintenance, the people who is on the field, you know, they follow the phases, they make a picture with a mobile, and they, on the real time, can see how it's developed cherry, I don't know, or what type of the product. And all of this, they follow, and but we are buying the software. Of course, that's artificial intelligence, or how it's saying now. They calculate and they give a signal to the farmers. Now you have moisture, blah, blah, blah. Now you should be prepared for the spraying your products. And that kind of things. It's not behind the human being, but we are doing this. We hope that this project will be successful and the farmers will start to use. We know, all of us, that even you make the best one, but if the farmers ignore, then you just throw the money. But I'm sure that we go in the right direction, and we have to teach, educate farmers. And I didn't mention that in this process it's involved, we're calling National Extension Agency, which work with the farmers, and they give you advice, preparing application from different program and something like that. Thanks.
Very good. Yeah, so yeah, I guess it was about, yes, knowledge transfer, capacity building. It was interesting also to hear from your experience in India, where you were talking about a poor farmer that doesn't take innovation because he's poor and because he doesn't know and because he doesn't have the capacity to take it on. So you are creating a kind of virtual circle through this financing scheme and mechanism, so that you also empower them to be able at some stage to uptake some of this innovation. And one element is also simple innovation, frugal innovation, which is extremely important. We don't have to go for the super high-tech innovation all the time. We can go to very simple innovation that then will really be embraced by the smallholder farmers. So it's a stepwise approach, I would say, to make sure that we are really empowering smallholder farmers in this direction. We have one more question from the audience.
Thank you very much, dear speakers, dear chair, facilitator, for this interesting session. You know, and let me continue in Uzbek, since my colleagues will better understand me. So,
thank you very much. We are learning new digitalization tools and experience. There are a lot around the world. Every country has that kind of approach. For example, Uzbekistan and Bukhara, we have agri-cluster in Bukhara, well developed, digitalized. We all know. We can also embed and praise about that. Well, dear fellows, we are in the international conference. We have to consider the most important issues. Basically, food security, which is the part of agriculture development and digitalization. When we talk about these practical ways, well, this digitalization how is it connected to the food security, negatively or positively? And we wish to know. Thank you very much for you panelists, you all practitioners. You have very extensive experience. We wish to know your experience. Maybe it's pertinent to every person here, the representatives of FAO. Well, is it a tendency? Digitalization, innovation approach in agriculture we are talking about. Where did it spew from and where does it lead us to? Will it lead to food security? If it's a global tendency, if it's a global tendency, if you approach from the international scale, one country, one scale, and proposal scale, what kind of approach, what kind of project do we have to implement to prevent any future problems in food security? We would like to identify this. And one more question. Would you think the innovation agriculture in agriculture, where are we lagging or are we well in a way like an AI intelligence? How about in agriculture? Are we still lagging in this sphere? Or am I wrong? Thank you very much. Rahmat Ketek.
Around innovation, I mean, big question. The questions around the innovation, the adoption, about are we at the forefront in the agricultural sector, or are we lagging behind compared to other sectors? I mean, these questions are important. I'm mindful of the time. I think we should finish at 5:15, right? In 5 minutes. Okay. So what I would suggest is that we do a last round of comments. Just tell us from what you've heard from the gentleman. There is one more question. Okay, one more question, small question, comment, and then I will go to the panel for the last comments, final comments of the session. Thank you. You've got the floor.
Я немножко не по цифровизации.
I want to talk not only digitalization. I want to talk on food security, and I am the director of the Food Security Center of Russia. And digitalization is food security is a top agenda. And now we have developed the technology biodiversity of the food diversity in Russia, and in the future we can tackle the food with food challenges. And using here solar technology, also research of the soil, also biotechnology is also developed, and biotechnology.
In the industrial scale,
Кратковременно.
okay, the artificial also processes of the soil recovery has some advantages. When we launch it, they will be very effective and they will be lasting for quite a long period of time. And the first results you will see after the first months of the use. This technology is fulfilled in scientific soil formation, eco fertilizer, and it's produced with the new technologies that do not have analogies in the world. As an example, with the use of this, we managed to also increase the humus for 0.5 and in some soil up to 1% for one period, and it is a very high indicator. And with the opening of this soil formation, we have to also realize the one thing with economical and ecological point of view. Even now is a period to produce the soil resources that we lost. Thank you for your attention. It is a fundamental of the development of agriculture. It's fundamental base of the agriculture development. Большое спасибо за...
Of these tools that really can have a huge impact in terms of productivity and efficiency. Now we've got like 1 minute, 2 minutes per panelist. Give me your concluding remarks on what you've heard from the audience of what is your perspective in terms of digitalization and food security, and also if you want to share your thoughts on where do you see FAO as well helping member states in this particular field of digitalization. You may all have different answers because you have different needs, but it would be also interesting to hear you on that. So I give you the floor. You've got 1 to 2 minutes to conclude.
Thank you very much. Just trying to answer as well. So I think agriculture is absolutely in the forefront of digitalization. Just think of our equipment and technology. It uses, we had autonomous tractors before autonomous cars. Autonomous tractors are there in Hungary. Not everybody has it, but we also use space technology, biotechnology. So we are absolutely in the forefront of technology, but precision agriculture, for me, is about transparency, is getting to know more things about your own things. And for those farmers who already had an intensive agriculture, it may increase inputs, it may be more environmentally sustainable and keeping the yield, so keeping the food security. For extensive farmers or non-efficient farmers, this kind of transparency and mirror of precision agriculture and data is allowing them to increase the inputs, to increase the knowledge and increase the yield, so getting nearer to food security. So with precision agriculture, you can only win. It's just a win-win. Whether you are small, whether you are big, whether you are extensive or intensive, if you have agriculture knowledge and innovation behind it, so you know what you see and how to react, then it's a very important thing. About soil, soil is in my heart, and protecting and developing our soil is one of my missions now. What we finance now is, first of all, we created a law that every soil laboratory, whether public or private, they had to provide that data in the standardized form into a public database. And it's starting to work next year. And we want to know more about our soil and to be able to protect it more precisely and put back that data to the farmers. Again, transparency as a mirror. Your soil is doing this if you do that. So I think that's very important, but in the heart is agriculture, knowledge and innovation, the farmer who knows what to do with this data and with this mirror.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Oh yeah.
And I just wanted to finish that this is, I think, where FAO can to help the farmers to use this mirror.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. I will just start from the last one, that we will send a request to the FAO to make a strategy for this new technology, IT or smart agriculture. But I would like to finish because it was a question where we are. Are we behind, or we should wait all the time? We should use second hand, so to speak. We understand. But I will simply say, if the ministry, as we are doing, put on the priority list, we have to do this. It's connect with the budget, with the money. The same equipment, at the same moment, we have US, Europe, Japan, Taiwan, everywhere. It's just up to the leaders when say, okay, this is the crucial for agriculture, crucial for our farmers, and what we should do. Make a budget and invest, for sure. Even I'm saying, I will say to my colleague from the Institute, I promote this, but I'm really excited to see. But anyhow, we expect for the next season to have this. I would like to invite also to come and visit and let's say teach from the mistake or teach together on, you know, how it's doing and know how that's the best option. And I'm sure that the country in the process of develop, it should cooperate not only the trade, but also the institution and how we can help or all the farmers, the small one. I'm mostly fan for the small one. The bigger one, they can invest and they can doing a lot of things themselves, or even they use the credit easy approach to the bank. We are using the EPART funds from EU. It's also crucial for us. We are in some advantage in that process. That's mean how we can put the money, then we will be on the list, up or down. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Deputy Minister?
That's a good question. And so we are here gathered in Samarkand for a global conference, and the team of FAO helped us to organize this conference. They co-host, and of course, digitalization of the agriculture can be done with the help of FAO, and they can, of course, they are already helping in this process, and I'm sure they will assist all the member countries in implementing all the new technologies. So on the top of the government's initiative, the FAO will contribute to this process. Because digitalization of agriculture in Uzbekistan, we have a lot of proposals from the regional office, and they all are focused on helping small-scale farmers, because large farmer entities, enterprises, they have their own maybe capabilities, capacity to invest in this, but the focus should be really on supporting the small farmers, and the FAO is currently helping in this area. Thank you.
Minister, and I couldn't agree more that the focus also has to be on the smaller farmers. Professor, your last thoughts?
Спасибо. Здесь как раз был вопрос.
Thank you. Here we have talked about startups. In 2018, we have created accelerator that helps to support and develop startups. The promotion of these startups. And during each 5 years, they are receiving more than 5,000 proposals, and 20 of these startups has been financing, and I can give example on agricultural sphere, and on the production top number, and this startup was financed by this program. There are and also there are many projects and programs where our young people, students and young women are engaged, and also of course we have major clusters, and they also engaging the new startups, financing them, they're developing developing this sphere. This and we're working on developing accelerators, business incubators also, and also we're working on innovation projects. There are many agricultural services that have been provided. There are many also we're organizing trainings, workshops for farmers to implement new innovations, enhance effectiveness of the production. And for ensuring food security. And at the university, I'd like to emphasize that our young people are attending these new programs actively.
So we have come to the conclusion of this session. I don't want to hold you more. Just to say, I think I wouldn't take the risk of summarizing everything that has been said. It was too rich, but I'm sure that will be in the proceedings of the conference. Probably to say that, and we've heard it this morning, we heard it during the Food System Summit in July, with all the global leaders gathered to talk about food system transformation and to realize how much science, technology, and innovation is going to play a key role in the future for this food system transformation and for supporting the national pathways in this direction. There is no doubt about it. It's not a question about if we have to embrace innovation, science, and technology. It is there, and we have to use it in the right way. Right innovation with the right impact at the right place, I would say. And then on digitalization, I think it's not the panacea. It's just one tool that we can use, and it can definitely have a great impact. It can accelerate impact. It can really change lives. But it has to be done in a very, very cautious way in some ways. If we want to think of smallholder farmers, if we want to think of being inclusive and making sure we don't leave no one behind. And this is certainly an area where FAO is focusing its efforts on. We don't need to help big companies. Of course, they know what they have to do and how to embrace this innovation, but definitely putting some focus on smallholder farmers and the people who most need it is certainly at the core of our mandate. Having said that, I would like to thank you so much for your very active participation. I think it was a very good session, very interactive. And I would like to thank so much our great panelists, and I think we can give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.